Good evening, Possibility War fans. It is the 29th of January 2023. Boy, how time flies. My friends and I have now been involved in this game officially 2020, 21, 22, 23, 3 years. It's almost a month over 3 years now that we've been involved together in playing Torg, role-playing the Possibility Wars, or more importantly, Torg Eternity. Although I have taken some things from Possibility Wars. Anyway, tonight we have Gorden joining us. He is playing the character Darius Renauld, who is a cleric of Dunad from Isle, the reality of Isle. And he is. I have a feeling he's going to be as great an addition to the group as Justin, and well, frankly, anybody who's come across. So listen, tonight we are still playing Heart of Ukhaan, which is a big-time adventure for the Akashan series of adventures. It's kind of an underlying storyline beneath even the High Lords themselves, though it will come to fruition eventually. We entered Scene 2, Manhattan Skyline, last game session, and we are going to continue that tonight and hopefully get to Scene 3. And when we get there, I will let everybody know. Last session, the players had used the river to get closer into the city so that they could get into the buildings and find out if they could get close enough to the Crystal Spire, the Ukhaan Crystal Spire, to allow them to investigate whether the energy emanations from the tower are a result of an eternity shard stuck in there. So let's get to it. We're gonna kind of deal with some things on the to-do list that I presently have on the screen, but I want to kind of go through what happened last week as well. Connor, we're going to go ahead and start with you this evening because we started at the bottom of the list last week. So what do you remember?
Okay. So we finished fighting the warrior troop of Edeinos, and then we kind of got on our way. That was the majority of it, really.
Right. And who did you meet?
Yeah, it was. Oh, we met the Katsumi, and we at the very end we met Darius.
Okay.
At the very end of the session, once we got to the building.
Okay. Wonderful. Peaches? Or should I say Ginger?
I think I'm stuck with that nickname now, and I gave it to myself. My goodness.
No comment.
But I know there's a Living Land Cosm card in play that's play when traveling in the Living Land.
Yep. And I will get to that. Wait a minute. Where did I put that? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I get rid of the other scene that had it on it? Hang on. Actually, go ahead and say what you were going to say. I'm going to go look at
it's Cosm card number 5, Perils of the Living Land.
Yes, and I may need to grab it and bring it over.
It's in my hand.
Oh, it's still in your hand?
Yeah.
No, I thought I put it...
I played it, but...
Huh. Oh, that stupid cloud is still there.
Oh, man.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, that was annoying, man.
Control-C, and then I can bring it over to...
Yeah, I had forgotten about the technical difficulties till just now.
Yeah.
But first we met Katsumi. She was on the shore when we arrived. She had been the lookout I guess keeping an eye on the boat for the party when they returned. But we took her with us when we proceeded into the city. And as we snuck into the building that is adjacent to our target, we met Darius. And we were lucky we didn't just turn a corner and start fighting. He was his peaceful gesture saved the day, I think. Very clever.
All righty. In that case, Gordon?
Well, I remember in terms of backstory, I was part of the prior team, and as was Katsumi, who had been left behind as the lookout, and I had gone on ahead with the rest of the team, and they had been captured, and I ended up revealing myself to the rest of the party when they were when I overheard them discussing that it would be better to switch to melee weapons so that they wouldn't be heard on their approach. Which I agreed with them, thought was a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And you are not wrong. Okay, Rios, Catherine. I try
fine.
not. I
Just
try.
go with character names.
I try not to start into character names until after we've done the recall from the previous week. But I may just start with character names.
Honestly, I think most of us based our characters at least a little bit off ourselves anyway, so it's not too far off.
There you go. So, do you remember about the same stuff as everybody else, or do you remember one? Oh, there's one other thing for you to remember.
Yes, I apparently discovered some manner of loot box along the riverside.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You better not get the teddy bear that sent it away. Call it a reference that people don't know.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you pulled a basic list and you were going to have a choice.
Mm-hmm. And I've built that list. I will share it with her in a minute. And then she can make a choice off of that list. Or there's 10 items on there, so you could roll a 10-sided die if you wanted to, if you're not quite sure what you want. I think I chose some really useful things. And of course, the card says, the Delphi support box card says that I'm supposed to assign it to you. I don't necessarily like that sort of thing. So unless it's going to be some kind of a big nasty item, and then yeah, I'll just go ahead and assign it at that point because it'll be something that you really kind of need. So, Catherine, anything else that you remember?
Everything else I can recall is pretty much the same as what everyone already said.
Okay, excellent. Justin, you got anything to throw in?
We managed to keep the party from killing the new person when he jumped out at us.
Yeah, that was a very good thing. Yep. Okay, and Remington.
Didn't you just skip Nifrkim?
No, Nefrkim is Justin.
No? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. My bad. Sorry.
Air Force guy, you're supposed to pay attention.
I need some of that brain stuff, whatever it is you got.
Oh well, I would throw it at you, but I'm almost out anyway. So,
I mean, for the most part, just about everything was covered already. I don't really have much that I can really add.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and cover 3 items. To-do list, 29 January. Gordon, please go ahead and draw Darius cards. Do you know how to do that?
I do.
Okay. So 4 regular cards, and then give me a d6 roll. And odds or evens as to whether you want core earth or living land.
I'm not terribly familiar with this interface. What do I
Okay.
do to just roll a d6?
Okay, so in your chat window at the bottom, you can type /R space 1d6. But tell me before you roll it, do you want odds to be living land or core earth?
That should be living land.
Okay, odds should be living land. So go ahead and roll it. 4, so you get a core earth card. So it'll give you an opportunity in the drop down to choose a core earth cosm card. There you go. Okay, and folks, don't forget, if you've got a cosm card, well, any kind of card really, that says play it on the table right now, go ahead and play it on the table right now. If you've got something that says you can trade for another card and a possibility, or just another card or whatever, and you don't like the card that you've got, you know, we can deal with that too. Just stop me and we'll get it on. Okay? Let's get it on. Okay, so Darius has his cards. Okay, Darius, you do notice, and item number 2 here, so I'm keeping it in order. You do notice that Rios has a pretty big blotch of blood around her abdomen. She's not bleeding. She's not bleeding out or anything like that. So she may already have been. In fact, let's see if the dress is torn. Yeah, you're going to see those bandages. So she's been bandaged up. Your dress has been destroyed. At least around your abdomen.
And you just got those Navy guys to get you another.
I just got it retailored and mended. This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why you don't wear This is why you don't wear a dress in the jungle.
Darius will approach and say, "Oh, I see that you've taken some damage there. Do you need any spiritual healing that I can provide?"
Rios, do you hear him?
Yeah,
okay.
I heard.
Okay.
But we managed to heal you of 2 wounds, didn't we? And you're shocked by now.
Yes.
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 My wounds have been tended to. I thank you very kindly. I suppose now all I need is a proper change of clothes.
Very well. Just know that I am, in fact, as a cleric of Dunad, able to heal wounds through the power of the spirit.
Wonderful. You are definitely going to come in handy in the coming adventures. I look forward to being in your care.
Well, thank you, milady.
Okay. That kind of helps introduce some of what Darius can do. And we didn't get that taken care of last week, and I apologize about that. But we were drawing very steadily to a close. Now, Rios. Let's see. Where did I put that? It's going to be under journal entries.
Loot.
Okay. Now, I'm going to try this show players thing. And it should give me a list. Yes, it did. I do not want it to show to all players. I just want it to show to Catalia. Let's see. Let me make sure yeah, that should be it. No change. Okay, you should be able to see that list.
Aha.
Okay. Now, each of those items, you know, you can take a minute or so while I'm reading this section to kind of click on those and open their windows to make a choice. Once you've made a choice, simply open your character sheet and drag it over there.
I could get a grenade.
No, give it here. No.
You know, actually, well, let's see. I mean, what is obviously it would be over the tech level for living land, but let's see what I should have. Oh, I did. I've got that in here. I've just got to use it. So let's see. For a Rorsch, your tech axiom is only 18, so the grenade is 4 levels above your axiom. So it would definitely be a 4 case. If you roll a 1 through 4, you disconnect. Which in 2nd edition really isn't that rough. In 1st edition, if you disconnected, you were hurting.
Oh yeah, this connection used to be much worse than it is now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
what?
still, I've been carrying around that one stick of dynamite this whole adventure. So if I have a grenade, that's double trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Andon has a second boot, so if he needs to, he could put the grenade down the left boot and the stick of dynamite down the right, and then, you know. I mean, just consider.
Well, I mean, grenades aren't exactly very comfortable sitting in your boot.
Certainly not. Certainly not. I mean, if it were like a World War II German stick grenade, it might be a little bit more comfortable. But
just a little bit.
Wait, there's C4?
Oh no!
Hey, look, when I rolled this stuff, I was like, that would kind of be logical, but it depends on what you want to do with it. So again, if you need to, just drag the stuff over. The one item, you only get one from this list.
Wait, does that C4 come with its needed, ignition system?
Yeah,
Or is it
C4 needs to be set and then wired properly and then detonated, so that's a bit impractical.
That is
mass
correct.
chaos.
Very, very, very astutely pointed out. Yes.
Learned
Okay.
that on Mythbusters.
Okay, so while you're going through and kind of working on that list, from the rooftop vantage point, a steel spire is clearly visible deeper inside the city. It gleams in the light without a vine on it. The base of the spire is covered in thick crystal that slowly pulses red and then blue. Hundreds of Edeinos brutes crowd the streets around it and chip away at the crystal with stone hammers and other tools. Priests beat drums and chant to Lanala. There are no visible entrances. The observers do spot a possible way. Wait a minute, hold on. That's supposed to be a reading. They didn't split it out to a reading. And a description from a rooftop vantage point, a steel spire. I should have stopped right there. Okay, you are on the roof. There are all kinds of vines and stuff all around. I did not read that carefully enough. I don't believe I did that. That is correct. There are no visible entrances. Okay. But you do spot a possible way to the building, but you're going to have to figure out a way to get to it. Okay? Now, there are vines that string between buildings, but none of them really look strong enough to do anything with. So what do you think you might have to do? What could you do? Anybody got an idea? Well, you could probably fly from building to building.
Everybody can fly.
Actually, that's not a terrible idea.
Maybe he could take a rope across some of our climbing gear,
Or
I'm
about to ask, what's the distance between the two buildings?
Well, it's a standard street width, which is about 60 feet.
I don't remember my conversion to meters.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on just a second. Let me get a...
Hold on. Google.
Roughly 20 meters.
Yep, 18.3. So about 20. So come up with a plan, guys. What do you think you want to do?
We've got some sturdy rope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got 10 meters in my bag.
And I have 10 meters as well.
Pretty much all of you should have that.
We should.
And some climbing gear, in addition to some climbing gear.
Now
I have no climbing gear. Everybody else has climbing gear except me.
Well, you may not need it since everybody else has it, though.
Well, I've also got metallic hands, so.
Oh yeah, you're the ninja. No. No?
Oh no,
that's right.
No,
You're the cyborg.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, tying it together, being a former firefighter, you might have an idea about how to tie some things together, various classes and whatnot, to help save lives. You just would have to successfully recall that.
Okay. Would that be... what kind of role would that be?
Well,
I can take my binoculars. I do have binoculars. I can take my binoculars and take a look and study the situation.
Too.
and see if I can't put some kind of plan together.
Okay.
Binocular
Let's.
buddies.
Hey, I'm not the only one with binoculars. They're useful.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Question for you,
Yes.
DM.
Mhm.
Are the crystals? Can you touch the crystals without damage, or are they like poison or hurt you? Kind of thing?
You don't know yet. What you are spying from where you're at, especially with the field glasses, is for those of you who are able to look through the field glasses, is that you have a crane on the other side of the next building over. Okay, there's a long crane there, the same one that Quinn Sebastian Sir Elaine Fisk reported. I forgot Quinn Sebastian is busy. He said it was possible, especially if the crane has decayed enough, that you could knock the crane over into the crystal building, the crystal tower. Okay, it's actually made of crystal and some manner of steel. But again, it's 2 buildings over, so you can't put your hands on it just yet.
Did we see the Edeinos with the stone tools, or was that part of what you weren't supposed to read?
Can see them from here, but
Yeah,
they're small.
Yes, well, it's not that they're that small even. Okay, you can see that there are plenty of Edeinos out in the streets around that building. So if you go to the corner of your building and look that way, or the other corner of your building, you should be able to see many of them out on the street. Everybody give me a find test, please, while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Could you unpause the game then, please, sir?
The game doesn't need to be unpaused for doing find tests, but okay.
Just standard?
Yeah, it's just a standard roll.
Hey, better compared to the last time.
Yeah, the dice are really trying to kill us last time.
I'm trying
I
to.
couldn't hit anything.
Okay, I'm going to say
say.
Don't use a possibility on this. Okay, if you don't have to. Rios, what were you saying?
I'm trying to move that pop-up screen so I can get to my character sheet, but it's not letting me shrink it.
Uh-oh.
You can't double click and close it, or double click and shrink it down at all.
There we go. I finally got it.
Okay. All right, then while we're dealing with that, I can get rid of these 2 things. Okay, so let me see. Standard good. That's by 5. That's by 2. Okay, Remy.
Good.
As you
Sorry.
are looking over towards the other building, trying to see a way to. Oh, okay. All right. Trying to see a way to get across to that next building. You do see vines and stuff across the building, but you're looking around a little bit higher to see what's going on, and you spot some. Let's see. How would I abbreviate this for a race soldier? You see large birds with leathery wings and Edeinos riding them.
Are they heading our way?
No.
No? Okay.
No, you just see them, but they are over the top and kind of flying around in like patrol circles, almost around the top of this building and around the sides, because the building actually does only go up a few stories. I think it was 4 stories. So you can see like the top of the crystal tower, but it's not so high that it would be impossible, to get to from the. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm just not describing it very well. I've been waiting for this all week.
Take your time.
But
take a breath.
Let's see. So anyway, you see them, and if you're curious enough to look around, you see 4 of them kind of hovering around in the air. There's more of them, but they're further away.
Right.
Almost too small to see.
Those are probably going to be a problem, aren't they? I just kind of point them out to the others.
Okay. So Ginger, you got out your field glasses, right? So you should be able to look and see them as well. And you remember what they are. You remember
Bad news.
bad news, but you remember them being called lactin. And you remember Mo and Cheecock came in riding 2 of them on Invasion Day.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So, bad news.
No, but I explained. Those are lactin. They are ridden by Edeinos warriors. They are dangerous to our mission, right? They could spot us and alert, if not outright challenge us.
Oh,
Once
great.
we try to get across.
When pointed out to him, Darius kind of hunkers down behind the ridge of the roof a little more.
Yeah.
Okay.
As do I. And I make sure that I'm not like flashing my reflective lenses of the binoculars or anything like that.
Okay. Fair enough. You make sure to lower your glasses just as that thought occurs to you. But anyway, there are ways to get over there, and to actually take some ropes and whatnot to get with you, to take them with you to get everybody else across.
But what?
Was I cutting out a bit?
Yeah, would you say that again, please?
Just a little bit.
Okay. You have the ability to get across, and you need some to get all of you across. I know what I'm trying to say.
You're good. I get what you're trying to say. So
I'm glad somebody does.
You should probably try to get Connor to fly to the other side and tie the rope over, so everyone else can try to cross. But we got to try and get 2 of them at least tied together first to make sure it's strong enough.
Actually, when Chris is able to telekinesis himself, levitate himself, he does not have to make an arc to do it. It's not a jump. It's almost like walking on air for him. That's how the description reads as well.
Oh, that's pretty. That's a pretty awesome description.
Yeah, so I want to make sure that he keeps the vines between himself and the lactin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to suggest everybody buddy up, and so that when we do our climbing across, everybody gets like a 1-point cooperative bonus.
Actually, that's what I was going to look at. If I'm not
a pretty heavy guy.
Mistaken, let's see. Let me look at that climbing gear again. Climbing gear. Use dex rather than strength to climb. Okay, I thought it was favored. It's just being able to use dexterity rather than strength. Now, if your strength is better than your dex, then you can still use strength. But the climbing gear also allows you to use dex. Okay, so is that basically what you want to do?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, so here's how it's going to work. You're able to find a path across to the next rooftop. That's not a problem. The getting there is the thing. As you're looking across where all of the vines and some of the tree branches and whatnot are, you see some of them are moving on their own. Now, in order to stay down below lactin vision, or the vision of the beast riders on those lactin, you can stay close to the vines and the trees and still have a chance of getting across. In fact, the climbing gear should make things a little bit easier for you. So here's what we're going to do, and you're going to love me for this. Huh?
I said, great. One of the only guys without climbing gear.
Well, no, that's okay.
I'm just laughing about it. That's all. I'm not worried.
Now we can secure the ropes across.
Yeah.
With Chris Cross could do that. I'm going to show him some decent some really good knots, and then the rest of us can make, like, I guess, harnesses out of the climbing gear, right? And kind of go hand over hand across.
Yes, more or less. I don't see why that would be a problem. So here's the deal: we're walking into a DSR. Okay, it's A, B, C, and D, and I'm going to go ahead and read.
DSR stands for
dramatic skill resolution. So the round becomes dramatic for several reasons. But I need to kind of finish getting this path squared away, okay? So the first thing is to find a path across the rooftop. There are plenty of vines and trees linking the buildings, but unfortunately not all of the vegetation is harmless. Several patches are decidedly flesh-eating and must be bypassed. Discovering a safe route is a hard find test. And now what I'm going to do, instead of having to bypass them, it's going to be a matter of timing instead. Okay, so you kind of crawl across. You might stop for a minute to let a vine kind of go back to what it's doing, because it's obvious none of them have eyes. Okay. But that's going to be a hard find test. Don't go rolling yet.
Okay.
The second goal is to create a bridge. Okay. Once you get to the other side of the building where the crane is, now the crane was working. This is one of those big city-style, not really a flat crane, but it is very tall, so you can kind of get it to topple over into that building. Creating a bridge. It's one section across two buildings is too distant to jump on your own, except of course for our psionic. But that's let's see. Someone needs to make a temporary bridge from vines or something else. That's part of what you're doing now, but this is kind of a different thing. Step A and Step B are going to be separated. So the operation is hard versus science or mind to make all of that happen, to figure out the best way to knock over the crane. Step C is to knock the crane into position, which is a hard strength test, but all of you can work together on that. I'm not going to say all of you. I'm going to say probably 3 of you, maybe 4 at most. And then Step D is to knock the crane down to cut off oh, okay. So here's how it's working. You have once you get to Step C, you start to see you start to get the attention of the lactin in the air. You know, this DSR is really out of place. This DSR is really, really out of place. So here's what we're going to do. You still kind of need to knock over the bridge and stuff, but I'm going to rearrange the DSR based on what you guys are going to do. Fair enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Good enough.
So now Step A is going to remain Step A. Okay. Steps A, B, and D are allowed for this round. So you could accomplish, if you accomplish Step A, then you can move into Step B. Okay, but we're going to talk through Step B. So Step A, I need everyone to make a hard find test. And again, this is to avoid vines and carnivorous plants and stuff like that from tying you up. And don't forget, all of you have possibilities and cards that you can use. We are not actually in combat.
Whoa.
Okay.
Un momento, por favor.
Okay.
My laptop's acting up.
You said hard, right?
A hard,
Yeah.
14,
Yes.
yep. Okay.
Hey!
Yay.
I threaten it with my axe and it shapes up.
Yeah, I'll spend a possibility.
Okay. Go ahead and spend that possibility. And do you want me to take care of the possibility, or are you?
I got it.
Okay. All
Oh, I
right.
barely still passed. Oh, God.
Okay. Now,
A 3 and a 1.
Justin, I'm sorry, Katsumi, you still have 4 possibilities. Would you like to do that? Spend one? The dice don't hate you. They hate everybody. Go ahead. Do you want me to reduce it, or do you want to reduce it on your character sheet?
How do I reduce it?
Okay, open your character sheet. Towards the top right, below and left of the hand of cards, you're going to see possibilities. All you do is highlight it and then reduce it to 3. And then you hit the possibility button. Okay.
Oh no, I'm using all my good luck tonight.
Hold
What's
on.
happening for next week?
Okay, so Darius, same for you. Do you want to spend a possibility or use a card?
I don't think I want to spend it just yet.
Okay. But if you've got a failure...
Yeah, all right, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
How close is he to success? You said we were not in combat yet.
He is still 7 off. Ooh, 21. Okay. And that's a minimum of 10. Okay, let me go through and kind of look at these 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago. Okay, Connor was the first one to roll. Let's see. Ginger made it straight out. Connor made it on his possibility. Huh?
I don't think Rios rolled yet.
Well, yeah, maybe. But let me deal with these things one at a time. Connor, you have a possible disconnect, but it would be a 4 case. The climbing gear should be good for you. Because
1, I ignore 4 points of disconnect. 2, I ignore the first disconnect I suffer. And thirdly, I spent the possibility, so it's a minimum of 10, and that's when I rolled the 1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. That's a minimum of 10. Okay.
I want to say a supporter card, so is anybody within 3 points that I could have helped rather than spend a pulse.
No, both Katsumi and Darius rolled 7 out of 14. So yeah, that +3 is not going to help at this point. But hang on, I'm still interpreting results, folks. Give me a minute. So let's see. Remy made it. Okay. So Katsumi definitely made it. That was a good success, and so did Darius. I will get these names down, I promise. So that is all very, very good. So you made those. Okay.
We just need Rios and Andon.
Yeah, that's right. Rios and Andon.
So it was a difficulty of 14, right?
Yes,
right.
hard 14.
Oh, and I do have a card that can get some people some possibility back later.
Okay.
I'll have to improv some stuff.
Yeah, that's why I played Perils of the Living Land, so that we can get some extra possibilities back.
And that card will probably come into effect pretty soon.
I'll have some stuff that I might need to say here soon to help us out.
Okay.
Possibility-wise.
I think my computer's freezing up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Would you like...
Here it goes.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, I hit the button and it didn't do anything, so I hit it a couple more times and then it did everything at once.
Oops. Well, I haven't received anything yet. Okay, so you rolled an 11 out of 14 for Rios, I presume.
Yes.
So would you like to spend a possibility, or do you have a card like a hero or a drama, or even a +3 card? Yeah, if anybody's got a supporter.
I do.
Would you like to use that?
Yeah, I'll play it.
Okay.
I have a couple of action cards for myself.
Oh, do you want to just use the action card? One of the action cards?
Yeah.
Okay. Drop that action card, and that'll take care of you. I'll just hit the... There you go. +3 card. There you go. Okay, so you've got a standard success. It was touch and go for a minute.
Yeah.
So if you initially failed, or you scored like a 14 out of 14, the description is that you kind of slipped a little bit on the rope. You didn't quite have your grip down, but after just a moment, reality kind of shifted for you, and you grabbed on tight, and you were good to go. So everybody was able to get across there very nicely. Okay, sweet.
Did I just hear a cat?
I think you heard a cat caller.
Yes, that was my kitten.
Ah, okay. So now you're across. Here's the description that I'm giving of the top of the building. It's very much like the last building, but there's a great deal more decay on the roof. There are holes that kind of go through the roof where you can see the inside of the next level down. The stairwell is wasted. Okay, you know how a lot of these taller buildings will have kind of a shed that comes up off the top, and that's the stairwell that goes into the building. This stairwell looks like it's been clawed through. The roof and the walls has been clawed through by some really big, nasty, terrible claws. Okay, let's see, who's trying to get a hold of me? General. Oh, you know what? Let me hold on just a second. Oh, where am I going to? The menace in question. Oh, damn it. And I didn't put in the game recording. Now I have the menace in question. There you go. There's a picture of Discord. And then it's torn up enough, and the door is kind of jammed into the frame because the building itself, the shed, is kind of bent over to the left, so you really can't get the door open. You could try to go through the hole that's in the roof, but it's pretty jagged up there, so you might actually cut yourself. Air conditioning units have degraded to almost nothing. But you finally get across the roof, and you see the crane attached to the top and side of the building. Okay, there is some bracing at the base of the building, but the greater portion of the crane is attached to the top. Okay, now these cranes weigh probably, I think they're like 6 or 7 tons, including the driver's module on top. But each of you examining this, look at it and see that there is a great deal of rust on all 4 of the stanchions that are there. There are some holes that have begun to form due to corrosion. There are vines that are wrapped around the stanchion closest to the crystal building on that roof, on the roof that you guys are on, and the vines are the only thing that is holding it together because it has been chewed through in the middle. I'm not saying chewed through like by a creature. It's corroded to such a point that it's no longer useful. Okay, what would you guys like to do for step B, since it's on the card for this round?
Bulging muscles are going to work for this round. Well, if we want to try and make the tower fall over, then we need to try and, if we have any, I don't know, the dynamite would be enough.
You don't need explosives to knock it over. We just
but it's more fun that way. Anyway,
No, we need to do this quietly and keep a weather eye out for those flying lectin.
Fair enough. All right. So we want to try.
No
Yes.
explosion.
Hammer?
Yes, Justin? What's up?
I would, while they're working on the problem, I'm going to do 2 things. If it looks like they're going to go with physical force, I will cast my spell that buffs their strength.
Okay.
So that everybody has that to add into their roll. And I will take up a sentry position, keeping an eye on the bad guys in the area.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up the hourglass. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. Okay, you got, well, what do you think? You need 5 minutes or 10 minutes to talk through what you want to do?
I'm
Probably
leaning towards 10.
Just in case.
Yeah.
We don't use all the time. We don't use all the time.
All right. If
All
you've
right,
got
guys, any
questions, I'm here too.
Right. So,
So our goal is to knock over the tower.
But we want to try and do it quietly, and not make a bunch of noise.
I mean, it will make noise in whichever way it falls down. We
not,
just hope.
not as much as an explosion, though.
Yeah, there's going to be a very visual difference if it's being blown up and just like just falling over.
is
So, I
there
mean, I can use my impact hammer to hit one of the legs.
yeah, we can totally destroy it, but is there a place for us to hide once we do, so that yeah, I imagine things crumble to dust around here a lot. If we can mimic that, all we have to do is not be seen or be observed, and we ought to be able to, they'll look, but there wouldn't be anything for them to see, right?
And well, how barren is the rooftop, though?
What was that?
How barren is the rooftop? Like, is there anything we're able to hide behind, or is it just like completely flat?
Oh,
Well,
no.
flat roof buildings in cities usually have cornices, so there's like a vertical ledge that we could probably hide behind.
Correct.
As long as they don't fly over the building.
Oh, they're flying over the building. They just haven't seen you yet. They're flying around.
Could we perhaps make a larger commotion somewhere else to distract any enemy investigations while we try to knock this side over as quietly as we can, so they go over to where the explosion is while we're just quietly knocking something over?
Well, that would alert that people are within the area. Well, so they would know that people are within the area and be observing everything.
Okay, hear her out.
Like, if we have like 1 or 2 people go far enough away so that it would take them a minute to get over there, and then cause a big distraction like an explosion or a bonfire or something, so that all of the attention is distracted over to where this 1 or 2 people are, and it takes them a while to get there, while the rest of the party makes their way over to the official tower.
Now,
I mean, I could
Rios,
take part of the distraction. That's what we're going with.
now hold on. Rios, you and Andon are carrying a particular piece of equipment that could do just that.
The dynamite?
Mm-hmm. You're having way too much fun with that.
Who doesn't like dynamite? Let's be honest here.
I have been trying to use this thing for like 12 sessions now.
And the one time you nearly used it, you nearly blew yourself up.
Well,
Exactly.
we have the chance now.
Mhm.
Yes.
You
I can
know,
make a big kaboom.
Catherine, you remind me. Have you ever seen Leverage? The show Leverage.
I don't think I have.
There's a character in there who is a thief named Parker, and she likes to do all kinds of silly stuff. Not necessarily blow things up, but she is very reckless. Let's just put it that way. You would love that character. I do.
Ooh.
Can't wait until it comes back on TV.
The show you're talking about, I haven't watched it yet, but it looks good.
It
I
is.
overheard talk of Chris having telekinetic abilities.
Mm-hmm.
What is the range of your telekinesis?
25 meters, normally 50 if I do well.
Mm-hmm.
Because rather than have her light a stick of dynamite and then throw it, have her light the stick of dynamite and have Chris use his telekinesis to get it as far away as he can.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Well, that'd
Not a
be,
bad idea.
that would be at most 50 meters from us.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
still better than
Probably
nothing, though.
farther than they could be thrown.
Yeah,
probably
well,
farther
20,
than
25
they-
meters. I mean, your typical person is only going to throw between 10 and 15 meters to begin with.
Yeah, but when they're up in the air, that's 50 meters isn't that much.
That's true. That's true. You could just throw it and it will take an arc to the ground because you guys are probably on the 6th or 7th story 6 or 7 story roof of this building. So you're talking 70 feet that it could drop. Actually, it would probably hit the ground before it exploded. But if you throw it far enough away, your building is not likely to be affected.
And it's still a good enough distraction to draw some of those people away while we try to knock down the crane into the building.
I don't see why we need the distraction in the first place when we could just topple over and just move over as quickly as possible.
Well, less people we might have to deal with, though.
I just feel like it'll just draw more
their-
attention here.
Yeah, on their flying critters, aren't they pretty fast?
They're pretty fast, yeah.
If it were just ground enemies, I would totally go for like crossing over as quickly as possible and then just knocking over the bridge behind us so they can't follow, but they've got flying beasties. And that's going to be a bit more difficult to deal with.
Well, if we need to, we can have like 2 people stay back and try to draw their attention away while others cross.
Splitting the party.
Temporarily.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Nothing can go wrong with that at all.
Don't you jinx us, man! Don't you dare!
Not like that's exactly what happened last time.
Okay,
let's not
so
draw bad luck upon ourselves.
All right. Let's finish up the plan real quick. You've got about 3.5 minutes, and I want to carry on the story.
I will say before we do any of that, I do want to try and give a rousing speech that will give everybody who hears it 2 possibility. So that'll help us out if we get in a rough spot.
Okay. So you'll do that. Do you guys want to do the distraction or not? And who's going?
Well, I've got the dynamite, so if we're doing it, I would be one of the ones to go.
You and Andon?
And I'd at least bring Andon with me.
Okay.
Well, you probably need a pretty big tank if you got quite a people coming after you, though.
Yeah, how are you going to get back?
It's just throwing it out to the street from the roof. What's that?
I said I have a thought for the distraction.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Why don't I go over and bring them to me? Catch the attention of at least one of the flyers and bring them to me. But they won't recognize me as me. I will be one of the Edeinos. And I will look as if I have been wounded or hurt and need aid. I have a disguise spell.
Outstanding.
Do you speak Edeino?
That makes me think. Why don't we just use your telekinesis, Chris, to lift the dynamite to one of the flying things and let them deal with the chaos that caused?